Today's show is sponsored by Smart. Stay tuned at the end of the show to learn how I'm using my interactive display to enhance my teaching. 5 Ideas for Improving Elementary Math, episode 265.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Today we're talking with Kelly Gary, first grade teacher in Pennsylvania, about 5 ideas for improving elementary math with technology. So Kelly, what is your first idea?
One of the simple tools is an Elmo, and an Elmo projects everything onto a smartboard, and having the children bring up their work to the Elmo and explaining how they got to the answer is such an easy way to use technology when you're first starting out, and that's how I did. I just used an Elmo simple tool, and then I got more comfortable with the smartboard, and I created my own lessons. So number 2 would be using the smartboard technology and creating activities and problems that the kids, I take their names and put them into story problems, and I have pictures moving of things that they like to do, so it's meaningful to them, and they're so excited to be the star math student of the day.
So Kelly, could you talk me through an example of a story problem that you're doing with your smartboard, your interactive whiteboard that you've created, and let's just say that you've got a student named Tom. What would Tom experience in this interactive story?
Let's say Tom and Sally. With the smartboard technology, I'm able to I talk to the kids and I talk about what they like to do and if they have pets, and I create a story problem for them. The whole class, you can find the smartboard notebook on the iPad, and I split them up into pairs, and whenever they see their names pop up, so they don't know whose name is going to pop up every day, and I surprise them with different activities and things that I see going on in the classroom. As soon as they see their name, you can see those two, whoever names are the math stars of the week just brighten up, and all the class is excited. So they get on the iPad. So if they like puppies and cats, one story problem could be Tom has 5 puppies, and he walked 3, and 2 were sleeping, and Sally has 7 cats, and 2 were sleeping, and we can do lots of comparing with those problems. We show them math facts on how to solve the math problem, adding or subtracting, comparing, and all the pictures move. So I create a little picture that the kids can move on their own instead of drawing. And they move the dogs and they move the cats and they compare. They solve it on their own first, and then we come together and check our answers and talk about the different ways that this problem can be solved. So the Math Star, I call it the Math Star problems of the day because it always involves students and a little bit about them.
So what's your third, Kelly?
My third is when I'm teaching symmetry, and I create a Google Doc. So I go searching, and eventually the kids go searching, and I show them where they can do safe searches through Google. And we find all these buildings from around the world. So we take math out of the classroom, and they get to look at buildings from Paris, and we've done the Eiffel Tower down in Miami, one of the Breaker Hotel, and we find all these different buildings, and we talk about symmetry, and the kids really are, they're traveling around the world, and then we map them where these places are, and we really enjoy having a great conversation about symmetry, and they get to design their own building that is symmetrical.
Yeah, what do they use to design their building?
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I have this app, and you can use any app. You can do a story creator or Little Bird or me in the story, and they can create their building with the iPads, using lines and circles, and just the regular, if you're starting off and you're not comfortable with technology, just the whiteboard, which is an app that you can get on the iPad, which is a great thing because I always try to use apps that can be mailed to parents. Every activity I email to the parents so they can see exactly what we're doing that day. And it's so much appreciated by the parents.
Yeah. Or I know we've had shows before, and I'll put it in the show notes with Seesaw, which is another great way to share the portfolios with the parents.
There's another one. And the parents truly appreciate it.
They do. They want to know what kids are doing. Okay, what's our fifth, Kelly?
The fifth one is the interactive hundreds chart, which is another one on the computer, and you can project it on the smartboard, a very easy one when you're starting off and using technology with math. It's called the 100 Splat, and you can find it by Googling it. And it's a huge smartboard, and you can change colors and do counts of 2. You can change the color again and do counts of 5. And as they're doing it, they can come up and it makes a cute little splat sound, and all the kids get so excited to come up to the smartboard. And before I used to use, I would give them the 100 chart at their seat, which I still do, but getting them involved and hearing the splat is so much fun. It becomes so much fun for the kids and interactive for them as they do it at their seats with their crayons. They are able to see, the patterns really big on the screen. We have a great conversation about how many different patterns. We see them diagonally and all over the place.
Kelly, you love technology and you love teaching math. How do you keep up on technology? I mean, where do you find out about these apps and tools?
I do my own searches all the time. And we have an amazing technology teacher here that if she goes to conferences, I was actually nominated for the Keystone Technology Award for Pennsylvania because of my use of technology and being acknowledged from the state of Pennsylvania. I just was always told that girls can't do math. And it motivated me as a little girl. I always want to show that math is so much fun, and it can be, they don't even realize they're learning because they're playing. And we're such, 21st century learners with all these iPads and gadgets that it's become such a huge hands-on. Of course, you have to use it effectively. It's not an all-day activity, but used effectively and in a meaningful way, it makes such a big difference with motivation of these kids.
So as we finish up, give our elementary teachers a pep talk about making math exciting.
Gosh, when you think about all the kids that we have in the class, think about the ways they learn, so many different ways, by listening, by pictures. And that's what my goal is. If you come into my classroom, all children learn different ways. And because they're so used to using the iPad and being on their phones all the time, and giving it that interactive computer feel and right away getting that you're correct or answer, it just makes it more exciting for them, and they're more engaged. And the conversations we're having when they work together, and of course you can do it with paper and pencil, but bringing it to life and having them see all these numbers move and brighten up and pictures, and it's just become a different way of teaching for me. And I hope that I share that excitement with everyone who's listening.
So teachers, we can make math exciting, and technology is such a fantastic tool to use to make math more engaging and more exciting. I hope you enjoy these 5 ideas. Now get out there and make math exciting. This week, I'll be sharing the 7 pedagogical shifts that make interactive displays a key to a student-centered classroom on the Cool Cat Teacher blog, sponsored by Smart Technologies. Shift number 1 is that students are collaborators. My interactive display is the common workspace for the whole class. I use it as a digital workspace to display any screen for the whole class to see, as a large multi-touch drawing and brainstorming space, and so much more. My interactive display is a must-have device for me as a teacher.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.